What's going on, tribe? I hope you're doing super well. It's your boy, your man, Daniel Blagrove, hitting you with yet another episode of The Pitch. I hope you're excited. Last 2 weeks, we've been having an amazing time just connecting, just being able to talk about how we've seen people like Mike Nowicki, Daniel LeBlanc, and Sean Gunther step up to the mound and throw their pitch to investors to see which of them would swing at a deal. And so I hope you found it very educational, very inspiring, very informative, and entertaining. But we're looking to really bring more fire, more energy, more passion, and power to this throw. So I hope you're ready and excited. Comment below where you're tuning in from. We want to hear you and where you're from. AJ Lavender, it's good to hear from you. Richard Morin, what is up, my guy? I'm glad you're back here with another episode. And so we're definitely going to be getting right into it. I don't want to waste any time. We're here to see how people step up to the plate and swing on their deals. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we're going to do tonight. So we got some special people, some special folk. Really looking forward to seeing how we're going to do today. We got Daniel LeBlanc from the past episode. So wishing good luck to all the pitchers. It's going to be awesome. Really excited. And so without further ado, let's get the introduction on the money investors for today. I did say there would be a special guest on today's show, but here we go. The first person, he is from London, Ontario. He is the mindset investor. He doesn't just focus on your health. He doesn't just focus on your wealth, but he focuses on your mind and the state of abundance. And I want to welcome my man, Mark Smith, the 7-2 investor. I hope you're doing well, brother. Say what is up to everybody.
What's going on, everyone? I got my dad used to tell me this before I used to get slapped. His hand is getting itchy. My hand's getting itchy for some deals here. So we got some money to spend. So let's go.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. And next, we're going to invite you already know who he is. He comes with the money because he raises it always. There is no one other who comes out of Windsor, who currently is not in Windsor. He is on the road, making money, making connections, building relationships, working out from gym to gym. If you've been keeping up with his story, he's been making money and doing things well. He is none other than Ben Mirashan, aka the humble CEO. What is going on, my man?
Good evening, everybody. Good to be back, Daniel Blagrove. Time to bring the heat. Got some money ready to spend it, and we are here on the road traveling, so you guys better bring it today. We're ready. Good to see you, Mark Smith.
What's going on,
Coming
brother?
up against the champ, man, so let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And without further ado, we got to bring our special guest. He hails from London, Ontario. He's got the beard. He's the one who's got the knowledge, the expertise, the counsel, and the tenants that range over 100, buying multifamilies, running a successful wholesale business. He is the one, the only, Matt McKeever. Matt, what is going on, my brother?
I'm doing well, Daniel. Thank you for that introduction. And yeah, just excited to see everyone's pitch tonight.
Absolutely. We got people from all over the country, it seems, from Moncton, New Brunswick, Toronto. We got Hamilton in the house. Everybody saying what's up, what's going on. People are excited to tune in. And so we're going to get right to it. I got the first investor who's going to step up to the plate. Now, I'm gonna go out and read their bio because it's super important. Shoot, they got one sentence because he's that amazing. He is the silent assassin. He is the real estate investor out of Niagara. He is the one, the only Brandon Koluk. Brandon, my man, what is going on?
Not much, man. Just excited to be here.
Dude, you are here at the pitch, ready to make your deal known to the world, ready to see which of these investors are interested should they choose to do business with you. So the way this is going to go, we're going to give you 5 minutes to make your pitch, after which we'll give you 7 minutes to negotiate and deliberate on this deal, to which afterward we'll give 3 minutes to make the final offer, and then we'll go on and move on to a quick Q&A and settle the deal there. So if you are ready to go, Brandon, you are on the clock. 5 minutes. Let's go.
Hey, guys, this is Brandon. I'm coming to you live from Niagara Falls, Ontario. I'm truly blessed where I am in my life, surrounded by such amazing individuals who have tremendous impact in my life. I seek the good in everybody, and I have a can-do attitude in everything I do. Today, I'm asking you investors for $1 million. In return, you will receive interest-only payments of $16,667 per month for the next 12 months. To keep it simple, or 20% a year. The term, you may ask. So we're looking for a lifetime relationship. We're looking to do hundreds and even thousands of deals together. This is not just a loan. We will seek advice, mentorship, guidance, innovate together, and ultimately have a lifelong friendship. We're also giving away 10% of every single deal we do. For example, a flip, we profit $20,000. You would, as an investor, at 10%, get $2,000. I've been in this real estate business now for 3 years. As a one-man show, we've gone from $75,000 to now $325,000 gross income. In 2020, we are opening up the first private real estate office in Niagara Falls with a four-man team, or four team members. And we also own and operate 10 units. So those units consist of a 5-plex, the commercial office with 2 residential up top, and an accessory unit in the back. And then on another site, we own a duplex. So this was all done with OPM. Using OPM in 2020, we have accumulated just under $850,000 of equity. Let me show you. So I just need that Excel sheet.
Yeeks. Now this stream, I'm running a little slow here. So go on and explain on the doc, because it's still loading on my end.
So on the Excel sheet, it just explains kind of our what we owing on the property, what the estimated value is, and there's 4 properties there. So there's the duplex, which we have around 78,000. There's another property. It's a double lot, so there's about 45,000. Our new build, which is our new house that we're building, we have 225,000 of equity, and then our the property, the commercial space where the office is, and the 8 residential, we have about 590,000 of equity. So it's roughly just under 850,000. And then I also had a Word document that's kind of broke down our deals from day one to today. Again, just kind of showing what we bought it for, what we purchased it at. I did send it in. I don't know if we can pull it up.
No, I'm not able to share on my end, so we're gonna have to just go on how you explain it. I'll kind of read it off. If you just let me know what tab it is, what tab's on. Yeah,
so it's just the equity loans. There's 3 tabs at the bottom. Yeah, there's 4 deals. So 6352 High Street's the first one. We just go through kind of what we bought it for, what we owe, and then our estimated value on it. And then I guess I'll share my screen. So I was going to go through all the deals, explain, show you kind of what we've done. We buy with equity. And then our last document is kind of what we've spent to date on our marketing this year. So it's just, can you guys see that?
No, I don't. Oh, okay. Here you go. Yep, you can see it.
Yeah, so just from June this year, a lot of marketing, a lot of flyers we spent. So June to today, you can see it's just kind of 1,500 there. Those are some door hangers, some more flyers, different cities, kind of really specific in the Niagara region. And then, just literally a lot of flyers. This big one, 25,000, was we actually hired out a company to do all the sorting, sending out, so we could save, and it was just less headache, so we paid more for it. And then kind of our SEO stuff, we spent about $8,000, and then other expenses, so just under 60,000. I was hoping to share the other stuff.
Where did Brandon go? I think he might have fell off. So we'll give him a second to pop on. But In the meantime, like fellas, like based on his pitch so far, tell us what your thoughts are so far on this. Like let's start with you, Mark Smith. Like hearing he wants to raise $1 million for interest only payments of I believe $16,000 on a monthly basis to fund his real estate business. What are your thoughts so far on this?
That number doesn't scare me. I do need more information. I do have a gap of information that I need that information. Yeah, so I do have some questions for sure to ask Brandon when he gets back, because I'm not crystal clear on their business and what exactly they do. Right now, I hear a lot of fluff. I want to have more of a deeper dive with respect to the information. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And what are your thoughts on this, Matt? Based on this pitch so far, what are your thoughts on how he presented it? Now, granted, I got to give him some grace that we had some technical difficulties, him unable to share his Excel sheet, but he was able to share some data. What are your thoughts so far on what you've gathered? What questions are going through your mind at this point?
Yeah, so I think there's definitely a few things that. Do we want to keep rolling with this now that Brandon's back?
Yeah,
Brandon,
sorry.
you are back.
Sorry, that was So yeah, I was hoping to show that other screen, but yeah.
Okay, so I guess. Okay, so at this point, yeah, Brandon's looking to hear from you guys. So at this point, who has some questions just to get some more information on Brandon's pitch? Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Brando. First of all, awesome to have you here, man. One thing about you, man, I respect you immensely. I love the hustle, and one of my general rules when doing business with anybody, besides the fact I have no like and trust them, is the fact is I will refuse to invest in someone that refuses to invest in themselves. I've seen you all the way from lead ninjas to where you are today, and you continue to invest in yourself. I love that, because that, for me, that shows me your heart. That shows me you want your stamina, and nothing's ever going to be good enough. I love that. I respect that. So it's awesome to see that, Brandon. Your ask of $1 million doesn't scare me. However, I do have some concerns, and it shouldn't say really concerns. It's more questions first. Okay.
Yep.
So, first of all, if you can talk to me more about your business, because I mean, what exactly is your business? Because it wasn't really clear. So, are you flipping? Because you said 10% of every deal. Are you doing wholesaling? If you can give me a clear understanding of your business.
Yeah. So we're really gonna focus in on doing a lot of assignment deals, flips, wholesales, which is going to be a majority of our active business. And then what in our business and in our marketing, we're going to come across some VTB options and maybe some multi-unit places that we can capture and also get the passive side.
Okay, so out of your business right now, so far that you've had, what percentage would you say is assignment versus flips versus wholesaling?
So a lot of it, so I would say like 70% is active, which is like flips and purchasing and then sell it, so wholesaling, and then like the last 30%'s kind of just units, I guess, or passive.
So out of those, I mean, what about the wholesaling aspect? Like, how much of that is wholesale? Because right now I got 75% flips and wholesale, or 70% flips and wholesaling, and then 30% passive. So
yeah, so we haven't done a lot of assignments. A lot of it's just been buy and kind of wholesales and then flips.
Okay.
We're looking to really dial in on getting a presence here in Niagara. And really have that dominance factor where we are consistently sending out marketing. We are building relationships. We are doing, a lot of deals per month, getting a lot of leads, and then, really dialing in on the assignments, doing a lot of flips and wholesales.
Okay. Your spend of $60,000. What was your ROI on that?
So we did, minus there was one deal that we did, I bought in 2019 and sold in 2020. It was just over 100,000. So from that 60, we did about like 225, 230.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
No, do you have any other questions? And feel free to jump in, Ben and Matt, if you guys have any questions. We got about 2 more minutes here before we can make the final offers.
Okay, so hold on. hold on. Let's go into this. Cabrando, good to see you, man. Here, Matt McKeever is a certified public accountant, or at least he was at some point, right?
Yeah.
Is it CPA? Okay, there we go. So I don't know if the numbers are adding up for me, man. I appreciate you throwing them out here, but I got a couple questions for you. I'm going to go hard nose on you because everybody's here to learn, and we're here to put some real money. You're asking for $1 million. That's a big ask right off the bat. That is a huge ask. I know this is the pitch, but let me dive into this. I'm going to poke some holes at you. Is that okay? Permission granted. Number one, you said $1 million at a 20% return. Does that mean that you're going to gross $2 million? And is it 20% of your gross or 20% of your net?
So it was just interest payments.
So it's interest only. It's no longer 10% of the business.
No, so it's interest only payments on the $1 million, and then 10% of every deal that we do.
So 10% equity on the deal, then interest is on the debt. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then is that going to be, what are you securing that with? Are you going to be using your existing properties as collateral with a blanket mortgage, or are you just doing a promissory note here?
Just the equity in the properties that we own.
And what's the cumulative equity right now between all the different deals?
It was around just under 850.
Okay, so you got 850 in a bloated market. You're hoping to acquire $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a bloated market. You agree?
Bloated market. I'm not sure what that means.
It's inflated, man. The whole market's inflated. So you got 850 of equity in today's marketplace. What happens if the market drops tomorrow and goes to 600,000? What happens to the equity stake in relation to my principal investment?
So there'll definitely be some less equity in the properties that we own.
Okay.
And then I would definitely be using that money to make more money. That's for sure. Like that's the 100%. And then again, it's one of those things where it's something where I would not make $1 and then sell everything to make sure that people have their money back.
Okay. I like doing business with those I know, like, and trust, but I also like doing business with those that give me collateral for my money. So know, like, and trust and collateral. That's my fourth qualification. Matt, maybe you jump in here, man. For $1 million, though, there's a lot of questions that lead up to $1 million ask. I'm really going to pull out the valuation of the company and what your intention is with the money and what secures it. Go ahead, man. Maybe you can get some clarity here.
Sure. And it's definitely unfortunate that you couldn't share your other sheets, and maybe that would have really shed more light on the perspective for us. But I think the big thing here is, with it being a business loan, is really just us getting a firm understanding of exactly what the business is, how it operates. And like, I like the creativity behind the idea of giving us 10% equity in the deals you do. But I think that even that sort of language is a bit convoluted and difficult to really parse out. What does that actually mean, right? Is it only 10% of the flips and wholesales? Do I get 10% ownership in each property you buy going forward? Why don't I just get 10% equity in the business? Things of that nature, I think, definitely need to be mapped out further. But as well, when we're dealing with a big chunk like $1 million, I think a lot of people, a lot of lenders that actually have that money, they're going to want to see exactly how you're going to roll out the use of that money. So like for me, like naturally my CPA brain goes to wanting to see like a cash flow projection, right? So how's this cash going out? How's the cash coming in? How are we servicing my 16,000 month interest payments? Now, again, I do in theory like the idea of being able to give an interest-bearing loan, and by giving that interest-bearing loan, I potentially get a stake in your business. The idea of 10% equity, I think, like in the deals and stuff, I think that's something more common with smaller players in real estate. And I think that you're moving into the next level of real estate investing now. You're going from solopreneur into really a business builder. And so with that, I think the type of language and deals you pitch even evolves with time as well. And so if you were to break out a cash flow projection, I wouldn't be surprised if you might find that $1 million maybe isn't actually even necessary, or certainly not all in one lump sum. Yeah. And again, that initial burn rate's really going to eat you alive, depending upon exactly how the money's going to be lent out as well. So I think those are the high level thoughts I have. The only other thing is, a few times you referred to we, and the one thing you didn't explain to us is who the we is necessarily. Like, is we just you and your team, or is we, I've got other business partners? And certainly understanding the landscape of who owns what. And regardless of, like, definitely putting up the 850 in equity that the business has, I think is great. But I I suspect that any lender that considers this, or any even investor who's going to take a 10% stake, they're probably still going to want some personal guarantees from all the individuals. Again, just because $1 million is real money.
No, for sure.
Hey, let me ask you a question. I'm going to give you an analogy here since I'm just finishing my workout. If I give you $1 million equal to one chicken McNugget right here, all right? This is within my diet plan. If you take one chicken McNugget, what I'd like to understand is, how are you going to divide my $1 million? What are you going to spend this thing on?
So half.
Disgusting, by the way.
Yeah. So half of it's going to go right to the business, which is going to go to marketing. So we're really going to double down on our marketing. We're going to hire a sales team. We're going to put it towards salaries, office expenses, and then the other half isn't really going to be used. It's only really going to be used for if we come across a deal that they want to sell within a month, and we know that we have $500,000 to buy that house, to do that flip or that wholesale.
So are you going to put $500,000 towards the operational side of your business? And if so, what kind of inflated salaries do you guys have to do $500,000 a year in expenses and overhead? Because it seems as though only 50% of the loan is going back into equity, into new purchases. The rest of it goes towards marketing, sales, and ops. Am I missing something? Or are you guys driving Lamborghinis over there off my money?
No. Yeah, so I would definitely I would be looking for an operator, like 100%, and I would probably put like 100,000 towards that just for an operator. And then there's some like just smaller salaries like assistant jobs and stuff. And then marketing expense, like probably should have spent close to 100,000 this year, right? So I really want to like stay that consistently or double that, right? So we can get more of a presence in our region.
Okay, so question then. It seems as though marketing is the main driver of your business. Like how stuck are you on operations these days, or are you still funded? You have enough liquidity for ops and you're just looking for marketing, or what's the primary driver here between the three?
Yeah, so I have funds, but again, looking for more for that operator and that marketing spend.
So it's the operations and marketing?
Yeah.
Would you parcel out a counter offer and just focus on the marketing if I give you money on the marketing side and took an equity stake plus a 20% return and to fund your marketing efforts instead of your ops?
Yeah.
Oh, you would?
I'd consider anything. I don't know.
Oh, you would? Okay, cool. All right. So would you take let's say a 25% return and 15% of the gross profit if I gave you the funding for the marketing on an as-needed basis month over month? You basically deploy it. I give you the money. We invest it together.
Okay, so what does that look like per month?
Well, let's break down the math. So let's say you're going to deploy $20,000 a month. I give you the funding. You deploy the money back out. You do the deals. You cut me into 25% interest-only payback plus a 15% stake in the deal flow.
Okay, so 25% on 240.
25% on whatever you deploy in marketing. So if you need $20,000, then 25% on that plus 15% of the deal flow profit.
Is that completely unsecured, Ben?
Yes, it would be.
So
and if Mark, quick thing, Brandon, if Mark and Matt, if you guys have any offers as well, any final offers that you'd like to make, any counter offers, we'll go ahead and do that. We got one more minute before we got to move on.
Brandon, this deal's going faster than this chicken McNugget that tastes like crap. So you better hurry up and make a move here, bro.
What I'll definitely say, Brandon, is like you're very driven. Seeing your success since OREC's been amazing, all that stuff. So I would definitely be interested in exploring something down the road. Like I would just need to see way more about the numbers and understand the business and really what your vision is. Like, are we building a business for 20 years or are we just like building it for a couple of years, things of that nature? If you're interested in selling an equity stake in your business, I'd be interested in that. Outside of that, you know, if we're talking unsecured loans, I'm probably going to be in the same sort of general ballpark. And one thing I would recommend for you though, is make sure you understand exactly what is meant by gross profit. So sometimes people, you know, just understand exactly what expenses are being subtracted, or are any expenses being subtracted from that gross profit? Is there any input cost there? Because that, in theory, may have impacts for you.
let me add this piece, man. This is where I really appreciate you in one circumstance. The fact that you've gotten to this point where you're doing enough volume to even make this ask and drive enough gross profit. Congratulations. I know a lot of people in this space who are trying to do wholesaling or investing that never even make it to this level. So you're obviously doing some things very right. So there's some credibility that certainly comes from the positioning that you've already achieved. So congratulations to you. I give you props. This is the next evolution of that. So if you want to come to this level of the playing field, I would frankly prepare either a secured position, right, where you can justify making this pitch, or find a more lucrative unsecured position. In terms of unsecured for $1 million, I mean, I know you're secured up to 800,000 currently with probably a blanket, but it seems as though there's still quite a bit of uncertainty in where the money is going to be spent. And I would really recommend coming together with a more accurate flow of where the capital is going to go once it's vested to you. So like how much goes to ops and how much goes to marketing. But overall, I think it's pretty good.
That's awesome. Brandon, definitely shouts out to you, man. Just like Ben said, man, you would not be in the position you are to make this pitch had you not had a lot of success beforehand. And before we let you go, Mark, is there anything that you wanted to add as far as feedback and anything you want to add to this conversation here?
Oh, absolutely. No, this is amazing. I mean, Ben and Matt couldn't have said it best. I mean, to have Brando out here, and that takes guts, it takes balls, and his ask. And I love that, because you don't ask, you don't get. I do have a question. No, I'm still going back to your flip business, okay? Because I'm intrigued by your flip business. Your flip business, who does your flips? I mean, are you guys coming in as the money partners? Who's doing the flips for you? Who's doing the renovations? Do you have a team?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, we have a team.
You have a team. Okay. Walk me through your team. Is it hired contractors, or you have, like, how does this work?
Yeah, so it's a GC team.
Okay.
So they do a lot of the just kind of a lot of the easy stuff, right? And then they subcontract out like electrical or plumbing, just stuff like that, right? Where you need a license.
Okay. So here's the thing. I know, and I love your pitch at the beginning, which was the lifetime relationships. I heard that from my ex-wife, and that's why I call her the ex-wife. So we need to have a nurturing time in between. I want to be able to build that. So this is where I'm going to go with this, because I got my milk here. I'm not taking your milk at the beginning. Apparently, that's what my partner does. So, or try to do.
I thought you were going to bring a carton today for sure, just to make up for the spoiled milk from last time. But hey, that's on you guys.
Well, and I even got a protein shake. Someone's having chicken nuggets. I'm having protein here. Okay, here's the deal. I am intrigued about your flip business. Our business model between myself and my partner Alex Solga is, I mean, we want to be money partners on flips. We have a wholesale branch, and then we also want to invest in businesses. So there is some synergy here. What I'd like to propose is, and again, I'll have to run this by my partner and so forth. But what I'd like to try and emphasize is instead of a loan, so to speak, and looking at interest and so forth, is we look at maybe your upcoming flips that come up. And what we would do at that point is we would offer you 100% financing on the flip, and with, again, we want to have our due diligence, run the numbers and so forth. And at that, with a 20% ROI, that would be our minimum. And at that point, we do a 50-50 split on the equity after expenses. So that I would like to go in that direction and try it on for size first and build from there.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's awesome. So with that said, we definitely got to put the spotlight on you for the final say. Brandon Kolek, are there any of these offers worth entertaining? And if so, which one do you choose?
I'm only going to pick one.
Well, you can take multiple if you want.
A good partnership splits the chicken McNuggets, man. One for you, one for me. But, if you take Mark's deal, he may not have any chicken McNuggets at the end of the day. Remember, this is the guy who spills milk all day. So you got to make a choice what works for you, buddy.
We may spill milk, we still drink every drop, man.
Hey, business tastes better with chicken McNuggets.
All right, you're on the clock, Brandon. What do you decide?
Shit. I like Mark Smith's deal. I really think that we're definitely going to do some deals in the future, regardless where this goes to. And Ben, would you consider less on the on the interest payments per month for the marketing piece.
What do you want? What do you need to beat that?
So it was 20% per month and then 15% of the gross.
Are you saying 20% per month return on capital and then 15% of gross?
No, is that what it was? Is that what the deal was?
Oh, that came out of your mouth, so it sounded pretty good.
Wow.
You were seeking a 20% per annum, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 15% of gross. That's what we discussed?
Yeah.
And that would be directly for marketing spend?
Yeah, because then I would cover the op.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I can make you a different deal here. I could give you an 18% return on capital per annum, but I want to tether that with a second mortgage on some kind of property that you have. That way, at least I'm comfortable on that end of things. And then we can do 15. So we'll do 18% return on C, and then we can do a 15% of gross. Is it work for you on your gross sales or on your net sales? Like, what's your actual margin on these deals if I take 15%?
I try to do like 20,000 a deal.
Okay, so what would be the gross margin? Do you know what the percentage would be on that? So 20 grand a deal, and then I guess what would the calculation be on 15% of your typical deal?
Yeah, so that would be like 3 grand a deal on the gross.
I like it. I could work with that if you could work with that. But it's got to be a good deal for you too, man. I don't want to get a bunch of comments later saying Humble's too aggressive of a negotiator. Remember, I'm a very nice guy until you ask me for money. Money requires a very, very responsible approach. And I believe in being a very responsible steward of capital. And that's how you accumulate it in the first place. And that's why people entrust it to you. So it's not my money. It's everybody else's money who's entrusted it to me. But I think I can make that deal work for you if that's a serious position. How much would you borrow per month to put towards your marketing functions?
And could I just jump in too, just because I don't actually understand how the details of a deal like this. So just to make sure, when does the 15% gross go away? Or is that for life? Is that once the loan's 100% paid off?
It seems to me that the 15% moves in perpetuity as long as you require the marketing dollars. So if month one you require marketing, then you're going to pay 15% gross of that, right? But Brandon, what's your positioning? Because now Matt's bringing some different questions into the mix.
Yeah, so he was. Yeah, so it's 15% of on whatever we make, right, on a deal. Like, so you spend 20,000 and you make 40, right? So we get essentially you get 15% of the 40, right? And
Okay.
then plus the 18% on the 20, right?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Does that make sense for you though? Let me break it down for the audience at home. So at 18%, essentially I'm getting 18% regardless, right? So you're really taking the risk exposure here, but you're getting access to capital. So, and then on the 15%, that's going to be of your gross. If you're confident in making $40,000 by investing 20 or so forth, that's amazing. And I think if you've got the track record to prove that and to grow that, then we could scale up together. I'd also be willing to ratchet that down depending on the kind of volume that you're doing. So what do you think would be a bad month and what would be a good month in the next 12 months?
I would say a bad month would be 20,000 a month. A good month would be probably 60, 80.
Okay. Okay, cool. So then if you want, I can make a counter just to help you put the deal further together. Anything over 50 grand, we can lever that down a bit. And instead of taking 15% gross, I could take 10% gross. That way it reduces some of the upward pressure on you if you guys start doing really well.
Okay, so 18 still on the 20, let's say, and then 10 on the gross.
18 still, and then 10 on the gross if it's over 50, correct.
Okay.
I can leave it with you. I mean, the chicken McNuggets are gone. I mean, I'm running out of time over here, but I can leave it with you for a moment. If Matt has a different counter offer, somebody might say, why don't you guys partner? I think this deal is too small to partner, in all fairness. $1 million sounds like a lot until you dissect it among 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And the question is why? Why partner? Are we spreading the risk? I like Brandon, so I'd like to work in Brandon's business. But I mean, the deal there's still some follow-up questions here, as obviously what's such a big ask.
Yeah, I'll do 50 or 100,000 at 10% and 10%.
Well, hold on. Why would you do it at 10% when I'm doing it at 18 and 15?
Because like I'm undercutting you, right? That's what I'm offering.
I see that, but why would we do that? Why would you go so much lower than me when we've already working out a deal that may be palatable for everybody?
You asked if I was going to counter, and like it is like you're getting a great deal in my opinion, so I'd be happy to do a 10-10, but I wasn't going to step on your toes until you asked me to.
And now you are, but that's okay.
Come on,
you literally
this
have
is the
me
nature
to,
of deal making.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Brandon, we got another offer on the table.
So hold on. You want to go 10 and 10 on this guy instead of my 18? Okay, cool. Well, listen, why go 10 and 10? Why not just get a few points more? Or are you just trying to create a long-term piece?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I think 10-10's honestly a great deal with Brandon. I think it really depends upon the person, but I trust Brandon's going to put up big numbers. So,
man, dude, you're making me look bad on national television over here.
Come on, man.
Come on, Mark. You might as well go.
We gotta wrap this segment up. And so, Brandon, you have a decision to make.
All right, my offer's off the table. I think Matt's is a better option. Go ahead and take it.
Yeah, I mean that's a good deal, man.
Mark, do 5 and 5, bro. Let's just keep going to 1%. Isn't that the 1% rule, right? That's how that works? Definitely not. Okay, my offer's off. Matt's got a better offer for you. If you can make it work, go for it. 100%.
Yeah, I'd love to explore that offer. Take it.
That's awesome. Dude, Brandon, that is phenomenal, man. Congratulations to you. I'm sure you will definitely look to continue this conversation and working out those details with Matt McKeever. But I don't know if everybody also noticed that Mark also slipped into his business and said, I'm happy to give you 100% financing on his flips on the top of the money he's getting invested into his marketing and to his business, potentially from Matt. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of simply making the ask. When you put yourself out there, you may get rejected, but you also may get accepted. This is the game of real estate investing when it comes to making offers and when it comes to raising capital. And this is why it's important to make sure you understand your numbers, you understand your business model, because when you convey it to people who have money, they just might invest with you. And so, Brandon, shouts out to you, man. Is there any thoughts you want to leave with everybody before you head out?
No, I just like I said before, it's an honor to be here, be in a room with people that is just like, you guys don't even know, you change my life every day. Like, you know, everyone's thinking crazy things and these amazing thoughts and just, you know, people who are just like, you know, it's out of this world. It's not even in our control. Well, you know, what we can do. So,
dude, now you got me sappy. Fine, I'll do 12 and 12. You're killing me over here, man. I'll do 12 and 12 because you got me all emotional. Doesn't typically happen that way, but
I'll do 2 deals then. I'll do Matt and then I'll do you on another one.
Well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna use the same equity to tether both deals? I don't know how that's gonna become an ugly, complicated web there. You know, we're gonna have to comb through that one there. But you're making me sappy over here. So 12 and 12 is the offer. It's gotta be up to you though. You gotta make that choice, man.
I'll definitely let you think about that, Brandon, man. We appreciate you. We're going to move on to the next active investor to make their pitch. Thank you so much, brother. And we will definitely keep you on the side. Y'all follow him. His at is Brandon Kola. Definitely stay connected because he's got an amazing journey. He's well on his way. And so I'm excited for you, brother. But you take care and we'll stay connected. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yes, sir. Awesome. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we love the comments that you guys are making. Definitely continue to put it below. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your questions. We will definitely get to them. But these are the conversations you need to know about because it is so important to know how to make your pitch, right? And so with that said, we're going to bring on the next individual. This person, oh man, I'm so excited because they are indeed a powerhouse. They have been running a business. I've known them for about a year now, I believe it's been, and it's been unbelievable how amazing they've been able to grow their business from their limiting beliefs all the way until running a successful flipping business, wholesaling business, an active business. Now, I gotta read their bio real quick to you because they're just phenomenal human beings. From Blue Ocean Properties founded by Allison Pazook and Keith Maxey, who bring to the table 14 years of real estate investing knowledge, including long-term rentals, duplex conversions, short-term rentals, and even venturing into international housing into the Caribbean. Allison and Keith are based in Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, mainly because of the phenomenal economic fundamentals and also the future growth. And so with that said, I got to bring on the champions, the one and only Keith and Allison. Keith and Allison, how are you doing today?
Just phenomenal, absolutely fantastic. I love being here. I love being in a room with everybody, everyone who's watching. It's just incredible.
It's
well, we're welcome, and Keith, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, back it up. I'm super excited to be here. It's great to be in a room with all the money and all the brains at the same time.
That's
man.
awesome.
Did you put on a tie just for us, brother?
Not necessarily.
Okay, because I mean, this is the wrong boardroom. We're the anti-tie. You know, we're the live abroad, you know, financial independence, retire early, no tie kind of environment. But hey, it's cool. It's cool. It's not a job interview, but it might get that intense. I would say Allison is dressed appropriately with the Christmas attire, so that's extra kudos to me. I might just fund this deal based on that sweater. You never know. That is a pretty intense sweater there.
Perfect.
Come on, man. Well, this is the time where you get to share your deal. You get to pitch your business, your venture, your idea, whatever the case may be. The investors are listening. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I'm just going to start off by just saying that Blue Ocean Properties is a dream come true. We do have an office. We're not working out of our basement. We have an office in Uptown Waterloo, and currently we're a team of 4. We've got Keith, who's my CFO. We've got Melissa Lee, who's the COO. Kaliska is a new hire. She's actually on the call as well. She is our hired as an assistant, but I can see her moving into marketing and managing very, very quickly. We've got a wholesaler who is now recruited a team of bird dogs to go out. So while he was at our Christmas lunch, he had bird dogs working for him, which is amazing. And we've got a very strong realtor who's cutting us in on some of his commission when we refer properties to him. So I do respect everyone's time, though, and I do want to get straight to the point. What we would like to do is to present you with an opportunity to earn over 21% ROI. So I'm just going to share my screen at this point so we can get into it. Can everyone see that?
It's coming up in just a second. Hold up. Boom.
Did you say 21%? Holy chicken nuggets.
I said
okay,
over 21%.
Over 20%. Okay, all right, let's go for it.
So we see Blue Ocean Properties, Allison. You're good to go.
Perfect. So we're going to just start off. Not everyone, you guys are not from the Kitchener area, so we just want to give you a little introduction into the Waterloo region and why it is good to invest in this region. So currently the Kitchener-Waterloo Cambridge population is 562,000. We have the fastest growing population rate in Canada. It's currently at 2.8%. We have the lowest, or we have a very low vacancy rate. Our rents, again, not stellar compared to prices, but however, they are relatively good. 1 bedroom rents for about $1,600, 3 bedrooms rent for $2,200. The detached median sale price of places in the Kitchener-Waterloo area is $615,000. You can see from the graph that our medium sales price has been increasing. We're sort of in the exponential curve, it looks like, it's growing for all types of properties. The other reason that's very important when we do any sort of market analysis is the kinds of businesses that support the economy. So I'm sure you're going to be quite familiar with an awful lot of these names. Our economy is incredible because we're not dependent on one source. We have factories, we've got technology like Shopify, Amazon, we have insurance and reinsurance companies, and 3 of the top secondary schools in the province. I would even venture to say the country, with University of Waterloo, Laurier, and Conestoga College. We also have Google, D2L, and basically a whole bunch of companies that are supporting our economy. For instance, Schneider's, which I'm sure you know makes all sorts of lunch meats and everything, they closed down. There were about, well, many thousands of people that were let go, and it didn't affect our economy at all. So diverse economy is important. So just getting to the point, this is what we're here to do, is to pitch this property to you. It is a side-by-side duplex at 8785 William Street West in Waterloo. This property is walking distance to basically everything important. All of the tech district, less than a kilometer away, LRT, infrastructure, and so on. I'm just going to bring this up again, that the average single family sale price in the region is 615. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is that we are essentially getting 2 properties for 650,000. So that's pretty amazing. I'm actually going to let Keith come in and take over at this point so he can go through the numbers with you.
Right. So your takeaway from this point, Allison, if you can go to the next screen. Yeah, so what our initial ask is here is for a 2-year loan, $800,000 at an initial rate of 5% interest-only payments. However, we have a little bit more than that. So that 5% interest, you'll be able to have a return of $77,000, the 5%, plus we're going to be offering a 30% equity stake in the property after a 2-year period. The idea is that in our business model, we are looking at holding this long term. However, if that model, for whatever reason, if we're not able to hold on to it, we would be selling it in order to get your equity back. Now, we are accounting for a conservative 10% appreciation. This appreciation has been 20%, over 20% last year, and it's been quite high with the economic fundamentals that are going on currently in Canada, as well as locally in our region. We expect that to continue on into the future. Although we don't have a crystal ball, we feel very strongly that this is a very strong possibility for our future. So with that, we're looking at over $1 million, over $1.1 million in terms of the value of the property in 2 years, which your equity portion of that would be around 93,000. So the total return over a 2-year period would be 21.25%. So we need to look at what our takeaway is as well. We're trying to grow a business where we can have active business income. We're at a very early stage at Blue Ocean Properties. So what we want to do is take that property, renovate it so we can actually operate it as an Airbnb and start cash flowing with it. And then we would have a realization on that appreciation as well on our end. That way we can hold the property after 2 years while you make the 20% interest, 20+% interest, and then we're able to continue on with that property at that point. If at any point we're not able to refinance it, that would be okay, because we can always sell it, as I mentioned earlier, and get all of your equity back. And then we do have some other cool features with it. So first of all, we'll talk about some comparables. We have 2 properties here, 50 and 52 Avondale in Waterloo. They are $450 for each side as a semi. Now, the house that we're actually talking about is currently a duplex, but not a semi. So we believe that there is a possibility with the city of Waterloo in order to sever that property and then have additional equity built in, into the deal that way. So that's our ask for the pitch, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Don't all raise your hand at once and come racing in, okay? Just one at a time. That's, let's not be greedy, guys.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to start off with Matt McKeever. Matt, having seen this presentation and the pitch, do you have any initial questions, thoughts, or anything you wish to get more on this deal?
Sure. I definitely love the attention to detail and the fact that you guys clearly put effort into it. So that definitely speaks volumes to me. I guess a couple quick questions on the surface is, what does it look like if Airbnb doesn't work? So just kind of how does that all play out? So definitely understanding the numbers around that. And, probably just digging even deeper into what happens if the market doesn't play out the way you guys want, and maybe like the plan B and C exits.
That's an excellent question. So first of all, speaking to the Airbnb side, unlike cities like Windsor, Toronto, where the municipal bylaws have changed, which makes it either impossible. I know Windsor is still sort of in progress on that, but in the Waterloo region, the region itself actually has a taxation rate of 4%, and especially Kitchener, which is really the primary city and most of the driving force behind the region, has a very flexible attitude towards short-term rentals. They don't want to get involved. They feel that there's too little in order for them to really worry about in terms of the current rental market conditions, housing crisis that's going on in Ontario, and all of those fundamentals. So we do believe that Airbnb as a strategy is our strongest way to approach the 1% rule in the region. Speaking to that as well, if Airbnb was not the way, which we think would be ultimately the much more profitable way, we are looking at having the market rents of about $4,400 over the two sides, as we're able to build a 3-unit building on each side. And that is getting to the point where it's a little bit questionable. At that point, if we weren't able to operate as an Airbnb, we would then list the property through our realtor and be able to sell it and get a phenomenal return in the marketplace in order to make sure that we're actually recapitalizing or realizing all the gains that we put into it, to make sure all the partners get paid out as quickly as possible if the market was to change.
And I'm just going to jump in on that, where you're saying it was questionable. Just running the numbers here while you were talking. If we are doing interest-only payments on that loan, we still end up with $4,400 a month in rent. Interest-only payment is $3,100. So we are still cash flowing at $1,300, minus the expenses, of course, the taxes and what have you. I haven't accounted for that, but we are ahead.
Awesome. Appreciate the perspective.
All right, come on, Ben. What you got for Allison and Keith?
All right, let's jump into this real quick. So I got a few questions for you guys. Number one, again, love the sweater, so I'm going to take a little bit of time and create a little bit of value here for you guys. Daniel, can I do a quick screen share?
Yes, sir.
A couple of questions I want to jump into.
What's the
biggest concern for an active investor? Yeah, go ahead. Biggest concern for an active investor like me is a lot of your premise is based on the idea that it's going to appreciate 10% per year. If the market doesn't truly appreciate 10% per year, then the investor is going to be out quite a bit. They're going to have the initial 5% interest that you're offering as a fixed, and then there's the other one. So here's a counter proposal to you, maybe a different way to consider this thought. If you offered a 5% fixed return on this deal, and then you added a decelerating interest rate based on 5-year stretch. So for example, in year 1, you're going to secure, basically guarantee a 13% return plus the 5, which is 18%. And we drop this down from 13 to 11 to 9 to 7 and 7. So you're going to end up paying in year 1, 18%, 16, 14, 12, and 12. Effectively, it's close to the 15% that you're already offering the investor. But now I'm not taking the risk that the market doesn't truly appreciate at that capacity or that rate. This is going to give me more security in the sense that I'm going to have a fixed return. And at the end of the day, it's the same for you. But it's difficult for an investor to jump in and go, yep, no problem. I'm just going to bank on the 10% appreciation. For me, the market cycle every 8 to 12 years, I do expect for it to pull back. So 10% a year for me is still quite aggressive. Even though the market has increased 20%, like guys, our local market in Southwestern Ontario, 2 to 5 was the average prior to this craziness. The truth for me is that this is a speculative driven market, and it's a game of hot potato. And the last thing I want to do is pick up that hot potato expecting a 10% year over year appreciation and then end up getting a flat or a negative appreciation if the market corrects. So what can you offer on that hindsight?
I just want to quickly jump in here and say that I respectfully gonna disagree a little bit. That in the Kitchener area, I cannot see that happening because of the tech industry and because of everything that the way society is now going with technology. We're going to keep growing. Also, just reflecting back on the last deal that you were attempting to fund there with Matt, where there was absolute no solid asset at all that you were securing that with. It was just on the hopes that someone's marketing is going to pay off, where we are securing this on an asset.
Sure. Okay. So, hey, I appreciate the banter. So let's keep this respectfully disagreeing back and forth a little bit, because I think this is what makes this game and this show amazing. By the way, hope you guys at home are getting some value here. So I'm pretty sure nobody prior to 2008 saw that market drop either. So I don't think it's ever going to be so obvious where we expect for it to drop or not drop. Even though you've got some great resources and some great universities and things like that, I'm still never going to be a proponent that the market is going to indefinitely keep rising, especially at a rate of 10%. Had the market not been already rising for the past since 2008 here, we're going on a 12-year run. I don't foresee a 10% year-over-year growth. And if it does, fantastic. But then that would mean to me that the best case scenario is I make 15% return. That is the best case scenario. So although the previous deal didn't have a lot of underlying security in the event that the market went the other way, that deal actually had the opportunity where the ROI was significantly greater. The problem I have with this deal is that the return is lackluster. 15% to me as an active lender is a lackluster return. I think though, however, for somebody with an RSP fund, somebody looking to park some money in the market who may currently have it in a CD or may have it in a bank or maybe looking for more of a long-term passive play, I think this is a fantastic offering for them. So I think just knowing who the right lender for the deal is plays a big role. I would say this. I can tell you were a school teacher by the very thorough presentation. So I'm very happy with the fact that you put together a PowerPoint. If everybody did this, my life would be so much easier because I could then gather some insight based on real data and based on more information. So thank you for doing that. That's why you're one of my favorite pupils here on this show so far, because you took the time to put it together. Last question, and I'll let you respond here. What happens at the end of the term if you're asking for a 5-year? Are you expecting to do a payout at the end of the 5-year term, or are you hoping for a renewal, etc., beyond that as you continue to operate this as an Airbnb?
I'm going to let Keith play with the numbers, but I am just going to correct you on it's 2 years we're looking for, not 5 years.
I understand. Okay, great. So what happens at the end of the 2 years? Do I get the money back? Or are you looking for a renewal, etc., extension?
I can tell you that basically at the end of the 2 years, we're looking to refinance that as within our own corporation so that we can hold the property. And then at that point, we're going to be paying you back out the entire capital that you would have initially invested.
Essentially, the reason why is that our A lenders won't finance us because of course we're new, right? And Keith and I both burned the boats, and we no longer have an income, so the banks won't look at us until we have 2 years worth of income. So that's the 2 years. That's where that's coming from.
Have you explored any secondary market financing from a B lender or a trust company for something like this?
Yeah, but we want to be able. You're meaning in terms of the first 2 years?
Yeah, just in terms of the overall financing, because it would seem to me like if you just got, instead of like just getting a straight debt play from a B lender at 5 or 6% may seem like a better proposal, because it seems like you've got a little bit of equity in these deals and they're not bad. I'm wondering if you're giving up too much by coming to the private side to put these together. Maybe Matt can shed some light on here, but it seems like you might actually be giving up more than you need to.
Yeah, definitely. I would be hitting up all those credit unions, B lenders, and different lenders of that nature just to make sure what they can offer.
Yeah, so the ones that we've already talked to, we're getting the same information, which is they need to see 2 years financial statements first before we actually bring it to them. Unless if there's a B lender out there that's going to be able to do it without taking a look at 2 years of financials.
This is because of the Airbnb.
Not even, we don't even mention the Airbnb.
Can't you just personally guarantee it though? Like usually that's the way we do it with all new corporations.
Yeah, and we're trying to do that, but because both Allison and I have both, as she said, burned our boats and we no longer have our own like I sold my business and she's left her position as in teaching, that we no longer are able to qualify on our own, and that makes it very challenging.
Is this part of a one-off deal, guys, or do you have an overall like longer-term strategy? I think part of my challenge is that it's one deal and it's 15% best case scenario, which I kind of have a little qualm with. However, if you were doing like a lot more of these and it could create a real business around it, then I think it may whet the appetite a little bit further. But me typically as an investor, I'm reluctant to do any one-off deals. And I get these requests often. Hey, will you do a random deal in Sault Ste. Marie? No. It's more work to set it up. It's more work to get the paperwork. I have to get a lawyer in that region. So right now I've got deals going on in New Brunswick, and it was enough work just to get the initial lawyer to get the deal done that I would never do one if it's just one-off deal again. Now, fortunately, we're doing several deals and it's justifying the cost and the headache, but it's just the time vested into putting a deal together in a non-familiar market is a challenge here. So what's the game plan going forward? Do you guys have any future development of this idea? Or is it a one-off ask at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. Where our goal is that we want to pick up 20 properties in 2021 to hold as Airbnbs. We want to get 30 in the year after that. In between time for the active income, we will be flipping, utilizing the Finley Mortgage Group, and also RRSP money that I've got coming in. So we'll be able to have flips going on simultaneously at the same time with the contracting teams that we've developed. So we've got, so there is an awful lot of future, shall we say, in this area. It is not a one-of.
Okay. So are you doing just the one to test the market here to see what's possible? Or would you be able to line up 5 or 10 of these things, again, to whet the appetite a little bit further?
We're certainly planning on lining up more than one, like I said. So we are in the process of working on it. We've got marketing that's increased. We've got flyers going out. We're increasing wholesalers. We're definitely expanding in that way.
Mark, get in on this conversation, man. As you can see, like AJ just mentioned, the flip side, it seems to have piqued your interest. Is there anything that you want to share to this conversation right now?
You know what? I love this. When you're sitting in a room with Titans, it's nice just to shut up and listen, right? And that's what I've been doing here and taking lots of.
I don't know how to shut up, Mark. Sorry. Keep going.
You done yet? Or you want to? Should I put myself on mute?
It's all yours, Clydesdale.
Awesome.
I don't know what that fuzzy thing is that's in his screen. I'm a little bit concerned. Up there beside him, there's that little fuzzy, looks like a hamster or something up in the upper corner of his screen. Is anyone else concerned by that? Up there?
Oh.
Listen, that was the last guy who made a bad offer on this show. So let's not get into that. He's still on the wall.
Sorry, Mark.
No, that's okay. I'm letting Ben speak. So first and foremost, Allison and Keith, great presentation. I liked it. And the nice thing is, I'll tell you, the PowerPoint was precise. If you would have had one more slide, you would have lost me. I'm a firm believer of death by PowerPoint. So that was perfect. You got right to the point and got right to it. So fantastic job. For me, I do have concerns. First and foremost is there's still a lot of speculation for me. And if I'm going to speculate, I might as well put my money in the stock market. Okay. So having said that, and I appreciate the fact that Kitchener-Waterloo has a lot of tech and all the other stuff, that's great. But there's also the speculation side of Airbnb. I mean, right now with what's happening in the world and COVID and all the other stuff, I mean, I have Airbnbs. And yeah, during the months that things happened, there was some shutdowns. And in fact, if you go all the way to Collingwood, for example, they shut down short-term rentals and they shut down Airbnbs, which was, when I listened to that. But besides that, for me personally, I mean, if I see the numbers and I'm not going to hedge on the future, I'm going to hedge on today, which is I would take that deal and say, let's flip it. Let's flip it, because based on the numbers, I mean, there's $166,000 profit sitting there. Why would I wait? Why would I wait for that? Why would I wait 2 years to get $166,000 and speculating on a $1.2 million when I can't predict what's going to happen in the future? So for me and my partner, our business is it's going to be the flips. It's going to be the assignment, the wholesaling, and so forth. So because it's a buy and hold. It does not fit our strategy. So unfortunately, if it was, I can't put an offer on it. But if it was a flip, I would definitely be willing to talk to you about that. So anyways, that's my side.
Mark
No,
just doesn't know.
Mark,
Mark just doesn't know if he's going to be in business 5 years from now. Don't worry about that, guys. What's the fair market value on this thing right now? You purchased a 650. You got an ARV, but what's the FMV?
Currently, it is. Oh goodness, Keith, do you have that off the top of your head? I've got it.
I
Nope,
believe
should be in the
around
PowerPoint.
$920,000.
520.
920 right now is the
Yeah.
fair market
no,
value.
that's the ARV.
That's ARV. What's the
ARV.
FMV?
The
That's the
FMV, I
ARV.
believe, was around 720.
720. Okay. You're
Hold
pretty
on.
firm on that?
Yeah,
No, I think that's higher than that. Hold on, just keep talking. I just wanted to come back on what Mark was saying about the Airbnbs. Our strategy is also not to do a one-of weekend type of things. It's more of the long-term, short terms. With having all of the tech people in, Google is desperately looking for places to put their people. So
Hold on. So are you trying to create Airbnbs for these tech companies that you had previously mentioned, or the general public?
both.
So first, we're going to be the idea is that as we're developing it, it's all going to be for the general public. We've had some success already, but like I have my own Airbnb, fairly successful with it as well. And then eventually, as we're able to acquire more properties, if we can find them that are actually going to be closer to Google, closer to Amazon, closer to these tech companies, then we can actually have those contracted out to those companies where they're going to have executives flying in and doing a short-term rental business outside of the Airbnb platform.
Okay, so let me drop something back here, guys. Everybody's doing the same tactic over and over again. Airbnbs, wholesale, flipping, all this other stuff. I fail to see a lot of like proprietary thinking in this thing. If you came here and you said to me, hey man, I'm doing Airbnbs and I'm going to get a contract from Google and all these tech companies, and that's who I'm going to be renting this to. So I'm going to offset my exposure to the overall market because I've already got predetermined contracts with these larger tech companies, and you can show a supply and demand of that nature. That would be a lot more interesting to me than I'm just going to do random Airbnbs and hopefully COVID doesn't shut me down like it did Collingwood. So I think if we can add some kind of proprietary value here, some kind of very like unique selling proposition, that would make these things a lot more attractive. When it's a generic real estate strategy that anybody can deploy, I'm going to ask myself that question. Other than this property, what else is the side value? Because if you can create a freebie, which is a relationship with Google and tech companies, and start garnering contracts, those contracts are theoretically more valuable than the Airbnb property that you hold, right? I know a guy who flipped contracts on audiology businesses connected to Grant Cardone, right? If you guys go back and watch that podcast, and he sold and exited that business for hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was the contracts, right? So we have to think about, is this a business or is it a real estate play? And I failed to see a little bit of that there. If it's just a real estate deal at 15%, that seems pretty straightforward. Is this an Airbnb business, or is this a different type of business based on a unique positioning in the Airbnb market? And I think that's where I'm struggling a little bit, trying to figure out where you guys are going, which path this leads to.
Yeah, our goal is to, and this is part of our vision, is to make those connections and have contracts with the tech companies that are in the area and other places that are bringing in executives and running executive rentals. We didn't want to go into that in depth because we don't have those contracts set up yet, but that is part of our plan for sure.
I mean, if you had those conversations and came here with 30 conversations had with some leeway on where that was going, I think that could have prepared this for a little bit further, because I think that would be a unique position you guys could take. We had the same thing in Windsor with the bridge expansion. People were trying to come down here and lock up the bridge employees because they're bringing all these employees down here. And that was going to be the unique reason why they were buying these single families or multifamily properties around the university core. Well, it kind of got convoluted with so many out-of-town investors and people essentially trying to hide money in our country. Different story, different time. But essentially, like, that would make this thing more attractive. And I'm just throwing that piece out there. I love the idea of investing in businesses and then investing in real estate. Even though this is a real estate show, the business of real estate for me is more attractive as an active investor than the real estate holding itself. Anybody can buy a duplex. It takes a special person to take that duplex and turn it into a business.
And with that said, we're definitely going to move on to the offer time now. So with all deliberation aside, it is time. I know Mark Smith mentioned that he is out on passive, but I believe he does have an active offer to make. Matt, should you have an offer? And Ben, should you have an offer? Let's make that happen now. So Ben, what is your offer to Allison and Keith?
I would offer to buy this property with you and sell it back on the market, producing a wholesale as a short-term flip. I'll fund it 100% LTV, and you can give me a split that makes sense. So if you want to do a short-term flip, I'm all in for this deal. But in terms of the long-term hold, it's still a little bit unclear to me which way this leads, and I frankly don't want to take the risk when 15% is the most I can possibly make.
And we're going to move to Matt. Matt, do you have an offer? Should you have one on the table to offer to Keith and Matt? Keith and Allison, excuse me.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you guys are trying to do, and I see your logic behind it. For me, the idea of tying up money for 2 years for the sort of upside that we're looking at just doesn't really fit within my personal investing, so I'm out.
Matt is out. And with that said, we got to give it to the 7-2. Do you have any offer to make, or are you out as well?
Yeah, for sure. No, I want to, same thing. I mean, I already played my hand before. I mean, we're in the flip business. So then if based on these numbers, I'd have to get more information, but I'm happy to take this aside and having a conversation some more and seeing what makes sense on both parties from a profit standpoint. So that would be my offer right there. So.
And
Wonderful.
So with that said, we'll give you the floor, Allison and Keith. What is the decision? Should you accept any of these offers?
We will continue the conversations with both parties outside of this and discuss what is a win-win for everybody. We're very much into the relationship business. We don't want this transactional, so we want to make sure that it's positive for the investor. You know, as a side note, my last 2 flips that I've done, both of them have netted 31% profit, and then we split that out amongst the investor and myself. So it's the kind of thing that we want to make sure is profitable for everybody. And I appreciate the offers from everyone and the advice.
I have a question, though, real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just flip this property? Why hold it when there's that much money? And why?
I think it's because our long-term goal is to be able to acquire 50 properties in the next 2 years, hold them until it's between year 5, and then year 5 start unloading them and selling them off and taking that capital and having a passive business from that point with the lending. So it's the holding on to them, just looking at how much properties have increased. Property in that I purchased in 2016 has increased $400,000 since 2020.
Right.
So
but you mentioned the product out there where all you need to put is $20,000 down. You take that $166,000, and now you're getting 8 properties that you can start going and then raise capital and get the flips for that. So that's my question. So, but again, everybody has their own strategy. I was just more curious. That's all.
And with that said, Allison and Keith, I want to thank you guys so much for really popping on and really making this pitch. You mentioned a great point. I think this is something that we all need to make mention of. It's all about relationships over transaction. It's easy to try to say, okay, let me just snag one deal from you, make my money, and move on. But Allison is looking to continue the conversation in order to be able to see what kind of business can be done over the long period of time. Now, I fully believe that the money that Ben, that Mark, and that Matt have is still available for Allison and Keith to use. It's just about figuring out in which way can we craft this to be a win-win scenario. Ben, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, don't lend my money out for me, Blagrove. I'm good at asking my own questions. So appreciate that.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
But
hey, man, when you come to the pitch, man, be ready. Don't let the pitch make you a little. All right.
Yeah. So thanks. Yeah, I was just going to say thanks
ahead.
very much. And again, if anyone out there watching is looking at the Kitchener area and wants to connect, then we would absolutely love to share Kitchener and investing here with you guys.
Hey, great job, by the way. You guys rock. appreciate you guys throwing the pitch out here. You know, I personally know you two guys here outside of the pitch, and I just want to say that credible people, 100%. So if you're in that market, make it happen.
Thanks, Ben. Much appreciated, everyone, for having the opportunity to be on the show too. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you saw a lot of the comments. People were loving your presentation. It was clear, it was concise, it was to the point, it made it understandably easy, and so it was able to get right to the business. And so that's awesome. We definitely got to shout out Melissa Lee, the COO of Blue Ocean Properties. I'm glad that you're on. Definitely want to congratulate you. And so with that said, we're going to move on to the next active investor. Keith, Allison, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. Enjoy your evening and take care.
She should have thrown the sweater in the deal. I probably would have made more sense of it that way. I'm just saying, that's a nice sweater. All right.
It actually matches. And I'm not surprised because it actually matches your beautiful Argyle sweaters you used to wear back in the day.
Argyle is the new blue. That's what they say.
Come on, man. That is awesome. We're going to get right to the next investor, the last one for the day. His name is Dario Silvestri. Growing up in Thunder Bay, real estate and construction were an everyday part of his life. He built and sold his first house at 18 years old. And he has used real estate to fund his life over the next 20 years of experience building, renovating on 3 different continents. Now, not many people can say that, so that's pretty awesome. He got into a motorcycle accident back in 2003, and this inspired an 11-year sabbatical to South Korea. Man, this is a movie. And so immediately he jumped into the real estate game. Immediately he jumped into the real estate game, going to university. He studied his MBA. He saved enough cash to purchase an investment property in Thunder Bay. And after his return to Canada in 2013, he immediately jumped back into the game with fix and flipping and obtained his realtor license. He is currently active in all aspects of the purchase, the sale, the renovation, the management, all of real estate. And so I got to bring him on. Welcome, Dario. How are you doing this evening?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was a long introduction there. Didn't need my whole life story, I guess, eh? I gotta say right now, this is awesome for me. I gotta say, I've been watching you guys since February, to be honest. I'm not as vocal with some of the members in the group, but you guys are awesome. I mean, anybody who doesn't know anything about the group, it's important what you guys do. The confidence that sits behind, knowing that I can stand up and talk with you guys right now and actually come up with a deal, be it good or not, at least I got the confidence to come up here and do this now. And it's all because of you guys, and I want to show my appreciation.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you. We appreciate having you in Cashflow Tribe, man. It really is an amazing community for us, and we're thankful for all the members. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate you saying that.
I'm going to try to keep mine short. I know Charlotte was, she really punched me 5 minutes. So I'm stressing how to keep this down to 5 minutes. What I'll do is I'm going to share a screen with you, and I'll try to hit the important points. I am introducing a market that you guys probably aren't very familiar with, being up in Thunder Bay. So I'll try to touch on that a little bit. And I'll try not to talk too quickly because I'm trying to squeeze it all into time. I know we're running late here. So let me get this screen going for you here.
Keep the comments coming. We got questions to be answered. We want to hear from you guys as Dario makes his pitch. Go on, brother.
Can you see the screen all right?
You can see the screen.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't do the PowerPoints anymore. I did 7 years of using PowerPoint while I was a professor, and I got absolutely sick of that. So anyways, this is Prezi, and like I said, I can pick the points we're really into. So the deal, what I'm asking for $300,000, and I'm looking for 3 months. My ROI, I'm offering $30,000, 10% over the 3 months. I'm looking for a 6-month term because nobody can tell me that COVID isn't going to affect the supply chain anymore. So I'm looking at 3 months, a 90-day out. I've given myself an extra 3 months just in case these things. So 3 months closed at 8%, 1% each additional month, 2% lender fee. This is what I'm looking for the numbers. Again, something we can talk about. Let's jump right to the usage here. What we're looking to do with this, I'm going to secure this with a basket of properties. So there's actually 5 properties in total. What the funds will do, it's going to refinance one property, $113,000 second mortgage on Government Road. This is one of the properties. It's going to purchase 2 more properties. It's $100,000 down payment for 407 and 411 4th Avenue. I've got an accepted offer with the seller on this one. He's going to take a vendor take back for me, so it's going to allow me to get the renovations done and refinance. And the funds are going to renovate all 3 properties. So $87,000 is going towards renovations of the 2 properties on 4th Avenue, which will include $22,000 on the 1 property for a basement unit completion. The owner started it, but he gave up. So I'm going to finish that up. Another $10,000 to $12,000 on the 2nd property for painting, cleanups, these kind of functions in there. I refer to it as 1 property because it is being purchased as a package, and there's a couple of very important reasons for this. In Thunder Bay, anyways, when you buy 2 properties that are side by side, they automatically merge. The area I'm purchasing these properties in, it's zoned R2, so it allow that property there to actually, we could put a 6-plex up on the property if we ended up taking down the property. So it does have future value in this. I'll give you a quick on the exit here. And what we're looking to do is, like I said, we're looking 90 days to get the renovations completed on the properties, and we're going to refinance first position mortgage on all the properties. 4th and 6th, this is another property is going to be blanketed. Government is going to be financed first separately on its own. My second option, of course, is always to put it on the market. I am a real estate agent myself, so we would have it prepared for the March, April, spring market. So again, if I got pushed into that position, we're in a good place to put them on the market in time. Oops, sorry here. My apologies. Quick look at the numbers for you. So like I said, there's going to be 5 properties in this basket. And a quick look at what we got, the current values of them. The 5 properties, 1 Government Road. This is my primary residence. This is how confident I am in this deal. I put my own property up as collateral on this deal. We're going to put some renovations into this property because this, we're looking at a 2021 September or 2022, potentially converting it into a B&B. It's a bit big for myself. We already own, I personally own 2 more income properties on 6th Avenue, and we're looking to pick up these 2 on 4th. Fair market value, current fair market value, we're looking at 1.33 million for the 5 properties. First position financing, we got 800,000 on there, 808,000. Second position, we got 158. Total of $1 million financing and leaving $290,000 in equity. Part of these funds, like I said, was going to be refinancing the second mortgage on Government Road. So we'll leave equity of $403,000. So I'm looking at leverage 75% of the equity left in the properties for these deals. Refinancing at 80% loan to value. The total package, again, the 6th and 4th, they're going to be blanketed. Government Road, my personal will be individually. But combined, we're looking at refinancing at 1.3 million, taking care of first and second positioning. Leaves me with 373,000. Taking care of your loan to me, your interest, your lender fee, and it still gives me some room here in case I'm off with some of my numbers or things drag out. To give me a little bit of contingency fund there. So again, I can forward this on to you so you got a better look at all the numbers. Give you a little idea of the properties that we're looking at here. And Thunder Bay. Again, this is my biggest challenge, is getting people to look up Thunder Bay, being out the west side of Ontario. People know of it, but they don't know nothing really about it. So this is the city right here, and the properties we're looking at right here in the center of the city. We're looking at, excuse me, there we go. So this is the neighborhood that the properties are. You notice they're in 4th and 6th Avenue. The location compared to the university, the Canada Games Complex, which is our fitness center. We have a professional baseball team or semi-pro baseball team in our auditorium. It's all within walking distance. We got Walmart and all the rest of it. So this neighborhood right here, it's perfect for student rentals. It's part of the city's master plan for urban infill. There's a lot going on in this little space. I don't want to take this out too long because there's a lot of history with Thunder Bay, but take a look at the neighborhood in particular. So this is 6th Avenue. This is the property I do own at the moment. This is the property we're looking to pick up in this neighborhood. And you've been talking about relationships and these kind of transactions. This is specifically why I'm trying to get you guys up here. This first one is a taste. I'm trying to get you into the market, trying to make you some money, try to get you out quick, just to show you that I can perform for you. But this is the actual goal. This entire neighborhood, I would like to take over. I've already been in talks. The neighbor right next to me, they've just rezoned the property for a 4-plex, and he's already approached me for a JV on the bill. Directly behind me, I've spoken with the owner there. We're he's willing to take a vendor take back on the property. Just across from that, another owner, person I know, I've spoken with him. He's got a five-unit townhouse right here that he stopped working on because he's got personal issues with his wife. So this is another property that are all up for potential sale. The whole neighborhood is undergoing fix and flips. So this is not only an opportunity for me to get you guys into a deal with me, but open it up for the whole cash flow tribe. If you guys come in here and we can fix and flip properties, it benefits everybody because it'll increase the value of my own properties as well.
Hey man, I like this
Sorry,
pitch. That's good.
I didn't want to drag it out too much.
Your PowerPoint skills are to the point,
Sorry,
man. That's good.
I
like
didn't want to drag it
Let
out
me
too
jump
much,
in.
Ben. There's a lot there, and I know we guys are pressured for time. But like I said, anything you want, we can always go back to it, and I can show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Stop apologizing for trying to make me money. We're okay,
Go ahead.
man. We're all good to go. Let me jump into some questions, though. I think this will benefit everybody here. So as a lender here, I'm looking at the elevator pitch. Risk and reward. For me, it's about reward and risk. Reward number one, because if it's not juicy enough to put food on the plate, there's no point of going through all the details about the location, etc. So I was good before the map. Anything before the map, I was good. After the map is going to be in my due diligence phase. Probably not necessary for me in the pitch. So just back up a second here, because you lost me a little bit on the reward side of things. You're asking for 300 grand secured over a combination of first and second mortgages, and you're offering a 10%. Is it 10% interest over the over 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you said to me? So it's 30.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be secured with the 5 properties. You're going to earn 10% in 3 months. So what I'm doing is 8% closed over 3 months plus a 2% lender fee. So that's your 10% guaranteed in the 3 months. If I needed to drag out for the full 6 months that I'm asking for a term, because I'm a little bit unsure about any delays with renovations due to COVID and whatnot. So I'm asking just to have those extra 3 months there at a percent per month on top of that. So you're guaranteed the 30,000, your 2% lender fee, your 8% for the first 3 months, and then an additional 1% each month for the last 3 months of the six month term. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So let's clarify this real quick. So again, back to the reward side of things. That's what I'm trying to identify here. So it's $30,000 basically that you're offering as a reward or as a return for the 300 grand. But if at your discretion it goes to 6 months, it's no longer 10% return. It's a 15% return. Correct? So 10% over 3 months or 13 over 6 months. So if I got to take a worst case scenario, you're really offering 13 over 6.
Sure.
Or do I have the?
Does that sound ugly?
Well, it's not as good as 10 over 3.
I know. Listen, for both, but yeah. Again, yeah. You
just diluted the deal.
Yeah, I know. I'm shooting for 3, but like it said, I know what you're saying.
Okay, so that's fine. So let's just say it's going to be over 6 months. I'm just going to take a worst case scenario on this because I like to live in a pro forma world, but I've never been able to live in that world. It's a magic fairyland, unicorns, and I just can't ever seem to get the pro forma land. So you're talking about 13% return over 6 months, annualized 26% return a year. So that's really the math that we're looking for here on terms of the reward side of things. Is that accurate, Dario?
Yep.
Okay, awesome, cool. And that's across a couple of different properties. Yep. Go back to me now. Let me help me understand the risk. Who's in first position in front of me on the deals you're asking me to be second on? Is that a conventional A-side lender?
Yeah. So on it's on that file there as well. And like I said, on the personal property, Government Road, Scotiabank's holding the first on that one there, and the loan will take out the second. So you guys will have the second position on my personal property. Sixth Avenue, excuse me, the other property that I own right now, first position financing is Ukrainian Credit Union. I've held off the refinance on them. We've discussed because that's actually in renovations right now. It's upon the completion. We just had severance approval yesterday. So again, that one was just delayed. So any of the numbers that you see on that I had for the after renovation value of 6th Avenue, those are now the current fair market values. So it's gone up in value by $52,000.
Okay, so let me ask you, how many firsts and how many seconds? Oh, you said across 5 properties. Go ahead.
There's 2 firsts. Well, there'll be 3 with the vendor take back on the new properties. So Scotiabank, Ukrainian Credit Union, and then the vendor take back on the new purchase.
Okay, so here's the question I have, maybe a little bit of an education piece to make sure we're on the same page. So a lot of times when you have a first lender, They usually have a collateral charge on the property, usually registered for a higher amount than what your outstanding balance is. And sometimes there's some kind of clause prohibiting secondary financing in your mortgage agreement through your conventional A-side lenders. So all the folks at home, before they ask for a second mortgage, they should be calling up their bank and asking them if these two things apply to them. Have you already checked that there's nothing prohibiting you from putting secondary financing? And have you checked the collateral charge in relation to the outstanding balance?
I've talked with the Ukrainian credit union. They have no issue. They know that the second position financing is in place. Scotia hasn't had an issue with it either.
Is your evaluation on equity based on the outstanding balance, or is it based on the collateral charge on that property?
Sorry, one more time.
So if you bought the property, let's say for 300 grand, and they registered whatever 250, but they only gave you 200 upon closing, so your equity is based on the actual outstanding balance, not so much the collateral charge. So I'd essentially be over 100% loan to value, wouldn't I?
On Government Road.
On the second mortgage deals, would I be over 100% LTV based on the collateral charge?
No.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify that piece.
Yeah, no, sorry, now I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that helps me on the risk side of things. So you mentioned that there's equity. By the calculation here, it appears as though you've got about 27, 28% equity in these deals. Is that correct? Across the different properties?
Yeah.
And then, so would that be levered up to 100% loan to value once we do this and transact this deal?
No.
Or would that 27 equity be after these deals are transacted?
Okay, now you got me.
Hey, man, I'm asking the same now. So I think part of the pitch here, when you bring numbers, be prepared to answer about numbers.
No. Yeah. It's the direction you throw them at me. Like I said, the 300,000 that I'm looking to borrow is on 400,000 equity that's remaining. I'm looking to borrow on the equity that's left in the 5 properties collectively. So, like I said, I know you're talking about the collateral charge on the first mortgage, whether or not that's eating up some of that equity in there. I do not believe it is at all, because like I said, I've spoken with both banks and we're not seeing that. As is, there will be $400,000 equity after we take out that second on Government Road, and that's what the 300,000 will be secured with.
Okay, that's all my questions for now. Maybe you guys want to jump in here.
I think
absolutely.
That was
sorry. Go ahead.
That
Matt.
was pretty thorough there, Ben. So I don't know if I've got any more questions at this point.
Mark Smith.
No, Dario, great presentation. I'm not a detail person, so I'll be the first to admit you lost me a little bit, but I understand you were rushed, so all good. I totally get it. So well done, especially under pressure. Okay. Now, full disclosure, I don't know much about Thunder Bay. I mean, I know about it. Okay. From my work out in Manitoba and so forth. I do know of the hospitals and so forth, but what I also know, when my experience when I was doing sales, is if you look at the census rates, you look at the economic data and so forth, they're projecting a decrease in population in that area. Mm-hmm. So when I look at that, there's that obvious risk in the long term. So for me, and of course, there's other things there. So I always have to look at something from a
comment to that, Mark.
Please do.
I apologize. And again, this has always been a challenge for me, and this is why it's important to understand what Thunder Bay is. A lot of the investors, you guys are down in the GTA, and this is why I need you guys to look up this way. This is the thing about Thunder Bay, and I understand when we're looking at metrics the way that you are, I do have some experience with that, and I understand where you're coming from. Population is very important. The thing with Thunder Bay is it's in a very unique situation in the sense that we service the whole northwestern part of Ontario. Mm-hmm. Thunder Bay is government propped, if you understand. Nobody wants to move here. Nobody really lives here. We got a pretty much stagnant population. We have for the last little while. The thing with Thunder Bay, like I said, they can't get rid of it. We're the hospital for the whole northwestern part of the province. So this is what's happening in Thunder Bay. And that's what's made it such an attractive real estate rental market. I mean, our value, we're one of the lowest costs in Ontario for house prices. You can see this. Our rents are comparable if you look at them compared to purchase price. Right? You look at, again, it's one of the slides that are part of my presentation, but you look at our university here, Lakehead University, which services the whole, we have just shy of 10,000 students that attended. 56% of the attendants are from outside the region. That's 5,000 students that need places to live. You understand? That's what makes we've become that sort of town. If you look at it on another, you follow the St. Lawrence Seaway. We are the farthest west you can get up to those channels. So we have always been one of those places. Thunder Bay. We've only been Thunder Bay for 50 years. We used to be Port Arthur and Fort William. So there's a lot of history. I understand the way that you're looking at the markets, but you got to look at it with a little bit different sets of glasses, because this is a city that the government will not let die.
I understand that. And first and foremost, I loved, that's a trooper right there. I love your passion. You're going to die by the sword and no one's taking that. I love that. And so in my stints with my sales, I mean, I spent a lot of time talking with the directors there of Orange.
Yeah.
And they talked about the demographics out there and so forth. The thing is that for me, I mean, my business, I've said this before, is I'm in a flip business, and it is primarily so an active investor. So I can't tie up our cash and so forth. So if it was something with a flip for those properties that you mentioned, because right now when I was looking,
3 months.
Go ahead.
3 months. I'm faster than the flip.
However, sure, absolutely. But what if? But that also ties me up. That also ties my money for 3 months, where I can deploy that in other programs.
Mark, he's challenging you to a race, bud. He said he's faster than you.
No.
So Dario, where I'm going with this is if those two properties that you said, you know, and this is just for my education. Is there a play to do a flip on those? And if you were to flip those, what would be the ROI on those flips? On that flip, if that was an option, because then I'd be more intrigued. But if it's and that way you're not putting any, you don't have to worry about paying.
On that, I'd have to put 150 in and pull. I'd work 50 on that. I'd look at about 33% ROI on that one.
But isn't he? You got me confused, man. Isn't he flipping them anyways? Isn't it?
Yeah. What I'm doing is
you're
bridging. I just want to get the renovations done and refinance.
Yeah. So for me, if it was a flip, because at 33% ROI, like my metric is minimum at least 20% ROI, and if that was in play, then I definitely want to get more data. I want to look at the comparables. I want to get more information. But because it's a long-term play with a buy and hold, with a refinance and all the other things, and more of a lent, that doesn't fit our business model. It looks like someone made a comment there. 3 months ago, I would have said, let me just figure out a way. But our business is very laser focused, and I can't deviate from that at this given time.
Meaning he's only got a one-track mind.
No. I have some very good mentors that told me not to have laser sharp focus and not get shiny objects.
Come on, man.
Your mentor sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Dario, let me hit you with this. I like the idea of you buying up the block. I've done that in Windsor a few times. It's actually a pretty awesome strategy. I like this deal. I'm not even opposed to it. What I'd like to see is the actual details on the blanket one more time. So what I'm going to go is I'm going to defer. I'm going to send you my email address. Send me the whole blanket deal, and then I'm going to look at it more carefully to fund this thing. But if you got a $400,000 outstanding, you're trying to raise basically $300,000. If it leaves you $100,000 of equity in the deal, and you're offering a 26% annualized return, I could be interested. I might be closer to 30. What I want to know is how many more of these things can we buy? Again, it's a one-off transaction. I like that you guys service the North, but this is only 5 deals. If there's a way that we can truly go in and buy up the block here, my friend, and you can actually capture 10, 15, 20, 30 deals, is the question I'm going to have is financing the only thing prohibiting you from getting those deals under contract?
Yes.
Would you be able to get at least 2 or 3 more deals under contract?
Sorry, Ben, I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off, but something else. What you're saying there with the more deals. Another factor, just because I'm rushing my way through it. This seller in particular, there's strategy to everything I do. Not only is it buying in the same block, but this fella here, I know of him. It's one of the benefits of a small community. He has a portfolio of probably about 18 properties. He's 63 years old. He wants to move to Italy in the spring. He's dumping his portfolio. This first one, I'm coming through the MLS with him because I managed to get a deal. He's asking $415. I got him down to $350 with a vendor take back on this one. He's not hurting for money. He's looking to dump his portfolio just confidently. So, like I said, this deal here, it's opening doors for me and you.
Hold on. Yeah. Everybody says I'm not hurting for money. I hear that from investors a lot. Why would you be hurting for money in the first place? That's just I think that expression doesn't make a lot of sense anymore.
I'm not hurting for money.
But well, I don't know who is hurting for money. I mean, here's my question to you, bud. I'd be very interested if you got on an actual conversation with that guy and see what would it take to buy all 18 of the properties today. In that case, we have a more of a market play that makes more sense, and then I could justify putting this deal together in addition to those. But I want something with more meat on the bones. If you can have a talk with him, this happens often, folks. Is like, I know of a guy who's maybe got some opportunity. The best thing to do is talk to that guy and then come to the pitch, because we want to sink our teeth into stuff. Go ahead. Yeah. You can cut me off now. You can interrupt me now. Go ahead.
I apologize. I do that too, man. I just love talking sometimes. But these are conversations I have had. Does have another property on the market right now. Again, this first one, like I said, it's to set a relationship with you as well as him. He's uncomfortable with a vendor take back. It took me a month to talk him into this deal. I want to show him that this is going to work for him. So the next
why are you giving him a vendor take back? Why not just pay cash if he doesn't want the VTB?
Because I don't got the cash.
Okay, now you got the cash. So why don't we go back to him and see what the lowest rock bottom price is if it's all cash, no conditions? Like, let's start talking that language. Yeah, we can do that for sure. But if the deal makes sense, we can lock these things up properly. So I think we got to go back and figure out the appetite. You said he's not hurting for cash, but he wants to dump these things and move to Italy. Which is it? Right? So there's always a level of motivation there. So why don't we just identify what it is? And if that's the case, bud, I think you might be onto a pretty good program here. You know, if you're the only guy up there who understands the market, understands the value, you're a realtor, I like you. I mean, I think you've got a good grasp on the market. You're obviously prepared for this meeting here. So I like what you're talking about, and the numbers seem to make sense. And I'm not afraid of small markets. I actually prefer them to big markets. I don't mind the outlier markets. So I'm ready to jump in and make some business happen with you. This deal looks pretty good, but I'd be really interested in the other 18 properties or so. So if you want to have that conversation, loop me in. And then let's see if we can put that together. Then that becomes super attractive, and we can develop long-term business doing that. I already like you, I already trust you, I already know you. Let's just make it happen, man. There's no need to prove anything. Let's just go get the deals under contract. Yeah. That's where I'm at with this deal.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And so this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to make the final opportunity for these investors to make their offers. We're going to start with you, Ben. Do you have an offer you'd like to make, or are you out?
I would come into this deal either in two capacities. Number one, I would do this deal if you have 100,000 of equity, and we got to go over the paperwork. If you got 100 grand of equity, I would do the 30% annual interest instead of the 26 which you're offering. Or if you want to sidebar this until you talk with that gentleman, I'd probably cut this whole thing in half or better if we can go and acquire at least a good portion of those 18 deals. So if you can have that conversation, and if you don't have the clout yet to do that, you don't have the rapport yet to do that, you can loop me into the convo. I'll get my real estate manager and we can have a talk and see what that would look like to put that together. But that right there interests me. And that's what I love to pitch, because you're bringing in new markets. You're educating us. You came prepared, and I acknowledge you for taking the time to put this together. It takes a lot of courage to show up here, and I think you did a great job on the pitch here today.
Appreciate it, bud.
Mark Smith, do you have an offer, or are you out?
Yeah, as I said before, unless it's, we're with our strategies, so I'd be out. But I do like the fact I was nodding, because that's exactly what I was thinking. As soon as you said he has 18 properties, he wants to move to Italy, I'm like, that's the play. We should be fishing for minnows where everybody else is. Let's go after that whale. And that's where the control. And I love, and Ben has that capacity to do so. I mean, so I think this is great. I mean, this is the way to go. Get that information for sure. I think if you can go after that whale, you're onto something.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And so we're going to round this out with Mr. McKeever. Do you have an offer that you wish to present, or are you out of this deal?
No, I think Ben really hit it on the head that it's going to be a lot more attractive if you bundle it. And 100% agree with that. So,
yeah.
Hey, Matt, question. Would you go in with me on this if he brings those other 18 deals? Is that something you're interested in, or is it outside of your buying criteria?
There was a lot of numbers thrown around on this call, so I would have to see how those numbers actually play out before saying anything.
You might snag 2 investors on the pitch if you can get that guy coming up here. We're always looking for new markets to enter, yep. And McKeever's the best partner, in this space, and I'd be happy to connect with him. So if you can get a bigger conversation going, who knows? Maybe the next play is your market. You never know. We're always looking for new markets. I think Windsor's been overly saturated. So has the Southwestern core. Eastern Canada is getting a saturation.
Yeah, you guys gotta get out
The
this
only
way.
place we can go is north. Can we do it in the spring, though? I hear you guys have that white stuff called snow. You know, we're trying to stay away from the snow.
Go to the market on that stuff.
My climates are so warm, my Christmas trees melt.
That's awesome. And so, Dario, we want to appreciate you so much for being able to step up to the mount and make your pitch to see which investors would swing. And so, man, at this point in time, is there any feedback, Mark, Matt, Ben, that you want to provide at this moment in time to help him be better coming at the next time he wants to step up and make this pitch? And one thing, Dario, to make clear, this is not the end. I suggest that you take their counsel, go back to that investor, see if you can get a package deal, because I promise you come back around with this, it's going to be a different conversation.
Buddy, I'm in there 100%. This, like I said, this is positive for me. I thank all four of you guys for all of your feedback. Really, I'm not stopping. I have a plan, and I will succeed with it.
You have two options at this. When you come to these kind of things and you talk to investors, you got to recognize what the appetite of the investor in the room is. If you're looking to do a one-off deal, one-off transaction, you should gauge the appetite first. You know, for me, I'm looking to do bigger deals, a lot more, get heavily involved in markets, and I've got money to deploy. I brought 1.2 million with me to the pitch today. We'll see how much we actually close out here. But I would gauge that appetite first before presenting the deal and understand who you're in front of. I think it's a very important thing. I think a lot of investors, they show up to this and other things and they just make a pitch blind without really understanding what that appetite is. So I would define the appetite, understand, ask better questions, but I think you're onto something. And then ultimately making a decision. Are you doing essentially a small deal, a transactional deal for you to provide a little bit of income? Or are you trying to build a real business out of this? So I just want to gauge the size of the opportunity. Is the opportunity a one-off transaction with a couple properties? Or is the opportunity, hey, man, I want to be the guy in this neighborhood. I'm looking for a long-term partner. That gets me more excited. I don't necessarily think you need to ask me for $1 million when you show up. I think the amount of money you asked for was very reasonable for the pitch today. I think you brought a good presentation. I think you brought some good value to the show. But I would come back and say, is there a business here or is there a real estate deal here? And that would decipher the kind of move I'm going to make here with you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so, Dario, once again, I want to thank you so much for popping on. You were a phenomenal job. Let him know in the comments that he was phenomenal because he definitely stepped up, did it well. And I thought the presentation was awesome. There was great feedback to know when to stop and to keep going. Understand how to bring new business into Cash Flow Tribe and give investors new opportunities for them to find new markets. As you know, as we continue to make the mentions of Southwestern Ontario, Windsor, all the different markets where people are investing. There are other markets I think within Canada that people need to know about. And so we need more people like you to step up to the plate, sell us on why those markets are where you need to be with package deals. Boy, I am telling you, people will line up to hand you their money. And so definitely go out there, make those cash offers, bring them back with deals. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes of it. As you can see in the comments, man, people are just congratulating you. Great job, Dario. You were phenomenal.
Daniel.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I want to share something about Dario. Dario, what I loved about this is you lit up and your passion came out. That's what got me intrigued. You sell yourself too short, my friend. I watched you today and you have an opportunity to play in the bigger leagues, but you don't have what appears to me is you're lacking that confidence. Man, what you showed today, it's there. You should be playing at that higher level. Give yourself credit, my friend. I'm proud of you. And I love how you dropped those gloves and you went firing. That's what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see. Not like, no, okay, that was awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, Mark, I'm going to say he actually brought the confidence. Dude, I think you did a good job confidently. You defended the deal. A lot of people defend themselves when the deal goes bad. Defend the deal. Bring the thing to the table of value. You don't have to defend your own character when somebody doesn't like your deal. I think you did a good job. I actually think you had a good level of confidence when you came into it, and you were highly prepared. So you're the kind of investor I like to work with. So good job on that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Man, can't you just see the love you're getting out here from Cody to Twan, Richard, Peter? Man, you definitely did it well, man. And so really appreciate you guys. And with that said, we have come to the end of the pitch. But we do want to let you know, as you can see on the ticker down below, you can sign up if you haven't for Cashflow Tribe, where you can meet other investors just like Dario, who has stepped up to make the pitch. If you want to learn more about real estate investing, understand how to make clear goals, invest in markets, understand the strategies, grow your mindset, grow your skill set, and build a team, build a business, and build a legacy, Cashflow Tribe is for you, because we got it through transparency, community, results, and impact. So sign up for free at cashflowtribe.com. We are happy to connect with you there. But with that said, fellas, thank you so much for coming on. We're excited. We will be having the pitch come back to you once again, and let us know if you want to be next. The pitch will be coming back. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy your evening, and we will talk soon.